Hey friends, welcome back to the Let's Talk About It podcast with your host, yours truly, Chief Apostle Veronica Yisrael. I'm so happy to have you back with me again on this week for positive, interesting, and liberating topics to help you think about your spirituality and your healing journey differently. And so today, our topic that we will be dealing with is embracing your unique path. Embracing your unique path. As I often say, everybody is unique in their own way, and we must embrace that. But we want to hone in on today on embracing your unique path and how that embracing your unique path, it can lead to fulfillment in your life, success, and provide you with the happiness you've always desired. And so in embracing your unique path, you must find out what is unique about you that sets you apart from everyone. Not that it makes you better than, but it sets you apart. You know, that thing that you think you do that nobody else does, or that thing that those interests that you're interested in, those things that you're interested in, that it seems like nobody else is interested in them but you find fulfillment and joy in those things. One thing the pandemic taught all of us, I believe, if we're to be honest, is about exploring new opportunities and new advancement, new ideas, venturing on different journeys than we ever even thought about before. And that's the important thing when you're embracing your unique path. Sometimes the course that we are traveling on may change, and that's okay, because nothing remains the same. As we go through what we call life, change is inevitable, but it's how we react to change and what we do with it that makes it different. Do we capitalize off it? Do we use it to our advantage? Do we leverage these things to help benefit us in a more fulfilling way? Don't look at your uniqueness as a disability or a disadvantage. Say you like to read. You don't like playing video games, you don't like watching TV much, but you like to read. You can use your ability and your love for reading to open up a whole new world for you. The wealth of knowledge that you learn, you can use it in helping to educate and teach others. Helping others to be able to see things from a different perspective. Because some people don't like to read, and so they will never read it. But because of your unique love for reading, you're able to give people who would have never even heard of an idea or a topic that you read, because they won't read, but because you read and your passion for reading, it opened up a whole new door for your unique ability to be able to bless someone else. So that's just one example of embracing your unique path. Don't be afraid to move away from the pack. Don't be afraid to move away from the crowd. Because oftentimes people found the road less traveled is the most safer, is the most bountiful, the most wholesome and fulfilling path. Because a lot of time you will be ostracized for leaving the pack. But you must be able to get over that fear of standing out like a sore thumb, the fear of following your heart's desires. You know, even your family may not be in agreement with you following your passion. They may want you to become a lawyer, doctor, instead of being an artist. You may want to go to art school. They want you to go to law school. They want you to become a judge, a doctor. You may want to be in law enforcement, but they want you to go to medical school. So many decisions, so many options. But having options is wonderful. But what is going to fulfill you the most is what you have to pay attention to. Don't live a life pleasing other people to the point that you don't even recognize yourself. See, that's a part of embracing your unique path that we have to confront. Because a lot of times we live a life of just pleasing everyone, want to make everybody happy, don't want no one upset with our decisions, so much to the point that we don't even recognize ourselves and we become unhappy because we have become someone that we're not, someone we don't even recognize. You know, a thought comes to mind, a movie about coming to America. And if you remember that movie, when the young prince was supposed to marry this young woman who had been groomed from childhood to be the princess, to be royalty, to marry him specifically. But when he took a moment, took her in the close quarters to ask her, what did she like? What was her response? If you watched it, whatever you like. What kind of food, he asked? What kind of food do you like? Whatever kind of foods you like. So what kind of movies you like to listen to? Whatever kind of movies you like. And for him, that wasn't good enough. Because what that showed to him is she didn't have, or she was taught to not have, an opinion for herself. Not to have a life of her own, independent of someone else. And a lot of people, that's many times that's why they don't like being single, because they don't like or haven't built the ability and the skill of being able to survive in life without depending on someone else. But embracing your unique path, you have to be able to say, listen, I know you all may not like it, but I have to do this for me. For some of you, you've made decisions in life based on family, based on children, based on whatever the case, your spouse. But at some point in life, you'll have to say, I got to do this for me. It ain't about nobody else no more. I have to do this for me. because I don't want to get down the road and life has taken its toll. And I look back and I neglected to seize the moment. I neglected to take my life into my own hands and stop leaving up to mere fate, but taking charge and putting things in place that I might have the life, the reality that I truly desire. Don't be afraid of being called the black sheep of the family. Because oftentimes, the black sheep of the family is the one that has the divine mark upon their life. The one that they castrate, the one that they cast out, the one that those stones that be the main one that have been called out of their pack to chart a different course, to be able to come back and lead that same pack and the safety. Now, while talking about this, the Bible story comes to mind about Joseph. Brothers, nobody cared for him. Everybody thought he was a show-off. Everybody thought he was just a know-it-all. Everybody considered him, all of his brothers considered him the favorite of the family. His father loved him and treated him special because it was his child of his old age and the child of the wife that he loved. But Joseph, out of all the scrutiny, out of all the pain and agony that he endured from his siblings and father, out of all the things he went through, he was the one that was called and the divine mark was upon to be a light bearer, to chart a different course than his siblings, so that one day he would be the one to be able to bring his family to safety. Think about it. Could you be that one that's called to lead others to safety? But guess what? The only way you can know that, if you're willing to lead the pack. If you're willing, Joseph had to be willing to embrace his unique path, to chart his own course, not to follow behind like others. So many times we have so many followers, but not a lot of leaders. A lot of people hold a position, a title of a leader, but they're only parrots, repeating what they've heard, repeating what they have learned from someone else, read somewhere, listened to somewhere. But a real leader knows how to chart their course different from others and stick to it, no matter who thinks they're crazy. Because a lot of time when you leave the pack, a lot of people think you're crazy. You lost your mind. You don't got it all. Because a lot of time the world and the climate we live in don't embrace change. Even sometime in our life, we don't really like change. We don't like when things change too quickly or when things are moving in a different way. And so we don't support change as rapidly as we should. But we have to embrace change. Because change sometimes can be bad, But more than not, change is good. A lot of times we need to change our scenery. We need to change the friends that we hang around. Change the thoughts that create the behaviors, that create the reality that we still do not like. We have to change the way we think, change the way we conduct business and handle ourselves, change the way we view the world, change the company that we keep. Because by association, they keep dragging us into a place of depravity, of darkness. A lot of times, sometimes you wonder why you can't progress. It's because the energy of those that you are connected with are dark energies. And it keeps you sucked in to a place, a low place, low vibration, low understanding. And so with embracing our unique path, we have to come to a place where we are okay with letting people, places, things, circumstances, relationships, whatever the case may be, go. Ideologies, dogmas, doctrines. You have to be willing to let it go. Because that might be the very thing that is holding you back from your promise, holding you back from reaching your goals, holding you back from moving forward, holding you back from growing into the perfect human experience that you were created to have. So embrace your uniqueness and the path that you've been created to chart. Every trailblazer, every forerunner, every person that have paved the way was thought of as loony, thought of as crazy, thought of as off the wall because of what they could see something that others couldn't see. They knew something that everybody else couldn't grab. That's what made them unique. And they held that thought in their mind. They held that belief that they had. And they charted a course that now we are all able to follow suit. Because one person took the heat and charted a different course when we didn't even know that another course of action could be taken. But you have to not be afraid of being looked at as the oddball. You know, even in my life, charting different courses, in my own experience, doing things that people said, oh, you're crazy. You are crazy. Ain't no way I'm going to get up and teach that or say that or do that. But I was not afraid to follow the path and embracing my unique path that was different from my peers. You're looking at a person who started preaching and teaching in religious communities at 6 years old. It was my passion to be able to study, read, listen to things that didn't make sense to people, and they'll be able to teach it in a manner that could be applicable to all. And I was okay with that. And you too have to be. I was picked on, of course, darling. You know, a child preacher. I love to read. I would go to the library and read. I would read about all different religions, all different denominations, and all the way down from Catholicism, all down to Pentecostalism to Protestant, how it got started, everything. None of my peers were doing that. They was out, football game, basketball game, this thing, that, and the other. But I embraced that something in me was unique and different, and I didn't worry. And that followed me my whole life. And as I get older, it is paid off because I'm able to walk with people on different paths and find the commonality and be able to have communion and unity and fellowship. Everybody's path might be different, but there is commonality. There are points of differences, but there are also points of unity. And if we as a people would learn to find the commonality amongst people, we could get along much better. Love is the basis for all things. Anything righteous, that is, love is the basis. A lot of people say that they love people, but when you look at what they show and the example that they set is anything but love. And so that's something to consider. One thing about embracing your unique path, you don't be like the story about Joseph, who was telling everybody his dreams and telling everybody what he had in mind and what he saw, his visions for the future. Sometimes you have to just show people, not tell people. Don't tell people what you're going to do. Just show them what you did. That's the difference. Because people will plant negative seeds in your mind, negative seeds in your head, and give you 1,000 reasons why you should not be doing what you feel the need to do. And people will talk you out of your unique path that you should be charting. They will talk you out of the vision that the divine have given you. They will rob you of your unique opportunity to be who you've been created to be, if you allow them. As I often say, once you have looked at all the facts that's been laid out before you, you weighed your options, you counted the pros and cons, and you make the best decision for you and you go forward. Because asking 1 million people their opinions is not the way to go. Because you'll end up more confused. And a lot of times you don't notice that sometimes the people that you consider friends are secret enemies. Not everybody. But sometime in that batch of good friends, you may have a few rotten apples. And when you share things before time, it can mess up the whole plan. So we must be mindful what we share and not to overshare. What to share and what not to share. When is the right time to share, when is not. But you listen to your intuition. Listen to your spirit. Listen to your heart. Listen to the divine that whispers to you and puts that thought, oh, I don't think you should say that. Oh, I don't think this is the time for that. Oh, I don't think this is the person to be discussing this with. Even in your own family. Even among siblings, parents. They may love you, but seeing you progress can be challenging for them. And what I'm saying is protect yourself and your future by being cautious of the words that you say in the time frame that you're saying, so that you might stay focused, so that you might be able to accomplish your goals, so that others may not derail your plans before it even gets started. Never let nobody talk you out of your future. Never let somebody talk you out of following your dreams. Never let someone talk you out of doing what you know is best for you and your family or your business or whatever the case might be. I've often said when people say, if I were you, I stopped them right here. No. Number one, you're not me. That's number one. Because there's only one of me. What did Beyonce say? I'm number one. I'm the only one. Don't even try to compete with me. Isn't that what she said? So you're not me. So we got that straight. And a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, people say, well, if I was you, I wouldn't do that. If given the opportunity and the circumstances were on the shoe on the other foot, as the old folks said, they would do everything they said they wouldn't do and some. Now, I've lived a while. I've seen this. And so you have to be very careful of the advice that you get from people. Check out the source of the advice. Where is the spirit that the advice is coming from? What spirit is it, energy is being given? What's the reason behind the advice that's being given? Now, not all advice is bad, but it may be bad for you. It may not work for you. It may not be the case for you. And you have to judge everything for yourself. Follow your intuition. That part of you that the divine placed in you to guide you as you move and maneuver through life. Remember, God is within. And because God is within, all that you need is within you. And so just trust that as you move and embrace your unique path. Embrace your differences. Embrace those things that set you apart from others. Your uniqueness could open up a whole new career for you. And you can identify those, if you could just identify your unique qualities and be able to leverage them, your own unique strengths and passions, and use them for your advantage, it would be a game changer for your life. So embrace it. Don't neglect it, but nurture it and see it blossom. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Let's Talk About It podcast with your host, Apostle Veronica Yisrael. If this podcast has helped you and touched your heart, be so kind to leave a positive comment below. And if you would like to financially support this work that I'm doing, no matter what the amount is, $1, $5, $10, $20, $30, $100, $1,000, whatever you may say, you want to give and say, I appreciate what you're putting out there. It's helping me, it's blessing me. And if you like, that's you, and you would like to give to this work to help us further this truth, further this movement of liberating people, deconstructing and liberating. The Cash App is pinned above, and you can give. And we appreciate all that you do to help us continue to expand in our work for justice, liberation, and love and freedom. And as always, share this podcast with someone. Let somebody know how you're enjoying this and being blessed by it. Share it, repost it, follow us for more content. And until the next time, remember that I love each and every one of you, and I'm rooting for you. And peace be with each and every one of you.